Well, hey there, friends. Welcome to the Downstairs Kitchen. I always love when you're here. If you are new to this channel because of whether you found me in a collaboration, whether I came across the algorithm, or you're here because you heard about this big grand giveaway of a Bosch mixer that I'm having, welcome here to the channel. My name's Angela. I'm the Inquisitive Farm Wife because I'm curious by nature and you never know what I'm going to get into. But I guarantee I'm going to bring you along with me because I love to learn new skills and bring you with me and share it with you, all the experiences, good, bad, the ugly. So today we are doing just that. We're trying a new sourdough recipe to me, and I'm getting the recipe from Wild Thistle Kitchen. So I was looking for a cheese cracker recipe that could use active starter, and a lot of them use discard, and I have a very extremely happy starter today. And so, as you can see, we nearly tripled, okay? So we're super happy, and I need to do something with this today because I'm not going to let this turn into discard while it's super happy. And I've got these cute little cutouts that we're going to make some crackers with. So I'm going to get started. Buckle up. Let's do this. First thing I'm going to do is grab, let's put our sourdough starter down. So what I mean by that is I'm just going to give it a quick stir, and we're going to see about how much we have. And we need about a cup, or if you are measuring by grams, it'd be 230 grams. Typically, I kind of like, especially when I do breads, I like to do it that way. But today, I'm actually going to use actual measurements because everything else will be, and it'll just be easier for me. So I'm going to make sure I have at least a cup or more, and I do. I have about a cup and a half. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out a cup of starter, and I'm just going to use this measuring cup. So you heard me say I'm doing a giveaway. So so if you didn't know, I am an affiliate with Nutrimil, and they sell Bosch mixers. And that's how I originally found them. I had bought myself a used Bosch mixer, and the thing was pretty old when I got it, and then I've had it at least 5 years. So the thing, I think she said it was probably close to 20 years old, and so it must be 25 years old. And this thing is a workhorse. I finally have had some broken parts start to happen. I have been able to find replacements, but I got myself a new one because I'm not going to be without a Bosch mixer ever again. And so I am thrilled to be able to offer one of you one for free. Not this one. This one's mine. It'll be the white version, or you can choose the Artiste. But if I were you, I would get the Universal Plus. It's a $500 value, friends, for free. And how do you win? Well, so we're going to have a live drawing. You need to make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. And you need to make sure that you're telling all your friends to do the same thing so that, one, they can get in on this giveaway, but I really want to share all my content with all of you. I want to experience this thing called life together and have a lot of fun while we do it. So I would love to grow my social media and my YouTube channel. So go ahead and share me out. Find me on Facebook and all the places, and join my community and be a part of this with me. And let's just have fun, because you never know what I'm going to do, when I'm going to be doing a giveaway, and you're not going to want to miss out. Okay, so we've got our starter, and we're just going to throw it right here in the bowl, just like this. And I have on my kneading, I have on the kneading blade. Just want to make sure I have that full cup in there. I want a nice fluffy cracker, and I think by using an active starter, that's what I'm going to get. And I'm probably going to give it a tiny feed later. And I may put that in the video, or I may not. I'm not sure if that's something you enjoy. So if I do, I'll put it towards somewhere else. Okay, so let's get this started, because I've got a little man waiting for me. I've got 3 tablespoons of butter that I have melted, and I'm just gonna, it's still a little warm, so I'm gonna kind of put it in slowly, and I'm gonna put it in on the opposite side of where the starter was, because I don't want to kill those natural yeast that we've been growing. We also need a cup of all-purpose flour. And so if you're new here, you don't know, I have my flour in huge bins, and there are all kinds of flours. I have all kinds of flours. And all-purpose is what I use the most. And I'm just going to kind of put that on top of that butter to keep it from attacking my sourdough. You do you, boo. Okay. We also need a half a teaspoon of salt. I use pink Himalayan, and it's my preference. Use whatever kind of salt you want. And again, I'm going to put that on the side with the flour and the butter. And I did use salted butter, so I like salt in crackers, so I don't mind using the salted. We're going to need a half a teaspoon of some paprika. And I have the smoked kind. I don't know about you, but I just love that smoky flavor. And this is 1/4 of a teaspoon, so that's why you will see me put this in here twice. And then same thing for garlic powder, same measurement. And this is almost to the end here, friends, because we want our cheesy crackers to have a little flavor to them. And this one is 1/4, and that's cayenne pepper. And I'm not, my friend Linda calls me a wimpy lipper. I am not one that likes heat, but a little bit of cayenne I do enjoy, especially with cheese. So we're going to put that in there. And then 8 ounces of shredded cheddar. So you can shred this yourself. You can buy this from the store. You can make your own cheese. No judgments, no rules, just about 2 cups of cheddar cheese here. And I see I've got my starter stuck on there. And another reason I chose this particular recipe is because all the other recipes called for a food processor. And I do not have a food processor. Of all the gadgets that I do have, can you believe I don't have a food processor? Nope. Well, I have an attachment for that machine that will chop and dice and do all that kind of stuff for me, but nothing where I could like make a pie crust or anything like that. You know, I've seen those tricks in a food processor, and a lot of people like to use that because it will chop the cheese up a little bit finer, but I'm going to take a chance, and we're going to use, I was trying to think of different blades or things I wanted to use. Now, I had the top you can actually put in the dishwasher, and so I had this in the dishwasher. It was clean. So we're going to put this on maybe speed 2, and I'm going to let that go for a couple minutes and see if we can't incorporate that cheese. See how that goes. And I maybe should have chosen a different blade that has a scraper on it. I may turn up the speed. I'm going to keep an eye on this, and once this is good incorporated, I'll bring you back. Okay, I wanted to bring you back because the dough, I wanted to show you what it was doing. You can see that it's kind of sticking here, and it's kind of dry here. So you may have to scrape your bowl depending on what mixer you use. And of course, now I'm regretting having not used a different attachment, because I do have one that will scrape the inside and outside of the bowl. It's an extra attachment that you can buy to go with your bash, and it's really handy, especially if you have a metal drive, the metal drive one. So yes, which I believe, I'm not sure about the smaller one, to be honest, but the universal should have that metal drive in there, and you should be able to get that attachment if you choose. So I'm going to kind of mix this up and turn it up, and then we're going to pull it out and mix it by hand. Okay, I ended up turning it all the way up to 4. It's still a fairly shaggy dough, but I think it's going to be okay. I think if we get a little hand mixing in here. Now, part of this could be because I use a very thick starter. It's not very liquidy, and so that could be part of this problem too. Remember, this is a new recipe, and I'm bringing you along to show you the reality of it, and how, if maybe we can figure out together, if I'm having issues, what we can do. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go get some water, and I'm just going to get my hands wet, and I'm just going to put a little bit of water in here. Move this out of the way, and I'm just going to try to incorporate just the tiniest amount of water just to get this dough to kind of come together. And, you know, you do not have to use cheddar cheese. You can, you know, get experimental and maybe use like some Gruyere or Munster or whatever kind of cheese that you like. These are your cheese crackers. But I want that orange look because I have a special cutter that I want to use. And see, just from hand kneading this and adding that small amount of liquid to it is fixing this. And there are more bigger chunks of cheese than I would like for my cutter, so I probably will make a lot of square ones also. And I'm so excited about this new cutter. Can you guess what it is yet? Have you figured it out? You'll have to wait a few minutes to find out. So see, this has just picked this up lovely. And now we have a nice dough. Now, because this was an active starter, they suggested with an active starter to let it rest a while. I think you can let both active or inactive starter rest, but what you want to do is we're going to wrap this, and you can put it in the fridge for 24 hours if you want, if you've got other things going on, but they suggest like 1 to 8 hours to let this rest at room temperature. So that's what I'm going to do. Today's babysitting day, so whenever it's convenient, when he decides to take his nap or something like that, that's when I will go and get this rolled out, and we'll come back together and bake them off. So see, now this cheese is really incorporated really well now that I did some hand kneading. Sometimes it's just, that's what it is. The warmth of my hand probably kind of made the cheese a little bit more pliable, a little bit, you know, melty. So, because it's certainly not hot, which I was afraid from the melted butter, which, by the way, if I didn't say, it was 3 tablespoons. So I think this is good. I'm going to put this in a bowl, and then I'm going to get some plastic wrap here, and we're just going to wrap this up, and we're going to leave it. It's kind of warm in here today because I'm doing some other baking. So just set it aside and let it be till you're ready to get to it. So I almost forgot. I told you that we would go ahead and feed this. Well, I've been calling it a girl, but now I'm about said feed this fella. You know, I don't really have lots of names for my sourdough starters. This one never earned one. I had, I think, Susie spelt in different ones years back. You'll have to look for those videos in my archives. But what I want to do here, see how much I have. Pretty much a half a cup. So then now I'm going to get the water. Ooh, not that water because it had butter in it. Let me go get a half a cup of water, half a cup of starter, half a cup of water. Stay with me. Okay, and then I'm going to use a full cup of flour. I'm just using all-purpose flour today. But if you want, you absolutely. In the past, I have used like spelt and different things like that, and it really will help a starter that's struggling. But this is a very strong starter, so I'm not worried about it. So this is going to make me a large amount again. This jar is getting pretty nasty, but I'm wanting to hopefully get some more things at least started today. So I'm not going to worry about it, but typically I would put it in another jar. But for today, because I know I'm going to be down here working because it's babysitting day, we're just going to leave it on top of the lid, put this on it, let it rise until I can get to my next recipe, because I do have a discard recipe I really want to do. So she may wake up and fall back down, and that's okay. So I'm not sure which one we'll do, but we will be back on another day for that. Okay, we are back, but now I'm going to preheat the oven. So I've got the upper oven going with something else, so I need to get the lower oven going at 350. So we'll get that going. And now I'm going to get some parchment because they suggest rolling between parchment. Okay, so I will take, and we're going to divide half this dough. We need to work with half of it. And I kind of think I'm going to take half of it and I'm going to put this in the fridge, and we're only going to bake half of it so we can experiment and we can see which we like better, cold or at the room temperature. I don't know how long little man will stay asleep. So let's wrap this up, and I can even do it later today, but I want to chill it to see if there's a difference. In between your parchment, we will squeeze it with our hand, and then I'm going to start rolling it out. Now this rolling pin that I have here, you can actually measure, you can actually put on it. It has these little things you can put on here to measure to see how thick it is. But I'm not really going to worry about that right now. And it's metal. You can actually chill it if you want. Put it in the refrigerator. And that way, you know, when you're working with stuff, it can be chilled also, because the warmth of your hands on the metal will actually, it will warm this up, ironically. And it is quite warm in here, actually. So I want this to be kind of thin. So I'm just going to keep rolling it. I might even get my big roller out. I love these kind of rollers that kind of taper at the end. There we go. You can really roll and get in there. It is my preferred. And I found this at a thrift store. I don't know what I paid for it. I don't remember. But I do know I couldn't walk out of there without it. If you don't have a rolling pin, if you could only choose one, I would choose one with a tapered end. But that's just me. Tell me down below, what kind of rolling pin is your favorite? Okay, I feel like I've got this nice and thin. Let's see if I can show you. See how thin that is? A nice thin and crispy cracker, you know? And I think with it having been active yeast, then it will be crunchy. And I want it to fluff up because, look, oh my goodness, can you see this? Goldfish crackers. So we're going to try cutting those out and see what happens. Ah, you guys. Oh my gosh. Now, I don't know how difficult this is going to be to separate them. My gut tells me maybe I may have to put them in the fridge. Maybe not. Maybe not. To put them out on the pan. Maybe not. Okay. I think as long as I cut through it really well. But isn't this fun? So fun. Oh, that one poked out on its own. That one came out on its own. A little fishy. You see that? You see that little fishies? And I think I'll get a fresh piece of parchment. I was back and forth between I wanted parchment or like the silicone. I think I'll do the parchment. And we're just going to kind of throw these on here randomly. No rules. No rules. Swim, little fishies. Oh yeah, and they're coming apart really easy. I thought maybe I would have to, because this isn't a cookie dough. Oh, and it's kind of stretchy, so be careful. Whoops. And they're actually falling apart really easy. I wasn't sure what I'd have to do, but I do think I want to go ahead and do this. So I'm going to shut this off while I separate all these because that's tedious work and you don't need to see me do that. I've gotten all of that rolled out. I put the dough kind of back in a ball and I'm going to just roll it out real quick and we're going to try some squares just because I think that'll be a little bit faster and I'm so anxious to see how this turns out. And that one I got a little thin. I got it thin there, so roll it up. Okay, and this will just be quick and easy and show you don't have to make them into goldfish crackers. So I'm going to just cut these into squares. you know, like a Cheez-It or something, and see which we like better. I think I got about the same thickness. We'll see. And they're not going to be perfect by any means. They're going to be wonky and different sizes. And we love that about homemade, right? That's what we love the best. The ones in the middle, the perfect ones, we display. The other ones, we snack. So I've got right here, it's just a cake tester. And I'm just going to poke a hole in the middle and kind of swirl it around. In the ones that are bigger, the really tiny ones, I'm not going to worry about. Same with the fish. You could make the little eyeball. I'm not terrible worried about it. I think we'll let it go. We'll learn. We'll see if that's the case. We're just having fun. So, oh, let's see. You see it? Looks like this with the little holes. And I'm going to flip it out on here because I think they're just going to fall off. Yes, yes, yes. Kind of arrange them a little bit here. Give them just a little airflow. I don't want them, they're going to slide. Hold up. There we go. So they're slightly thicker, not much. I did pretty good getting it the same. I'm kind of proud of myself. Okay, so our oven is preheated, and wow, it says 30 to 40 minutes. That seems like a lot for this size cracker. So I'm going to do about 15 minutes and check it, and then maybe flip them again. So here we are. We have the oven. This one is preheated to 350. So in we go. And I usually like to do half and then turn anyway. So I'm going to set, I've got 14 minutes left on this timer for another baking project we're working on. So that's going to be perfect for me to check those. So be back in a minute. Okay, friends, it's time to take a sneak peek and see how our crackers are doing. Oh yeah, they might even be done. I think they are. They're done. I think so. At least this bottom tray. Ooh. Let's see. That's hot, hot, hot. It's gonna be hot. Yeah, I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call them done. Goldfish crackers! We did it! All right, I do not want these to burn because these are looking a little brown. So I'm gonna go ahead and move them over here to cool. Ah, this is awesome. This is awesome, guys. Okay, so very good. The square ones puffed up. Really nice. Probably should have baked those just a little bit longer. So I think I would not do them on the same tray. Let's try a little goldfish cracker. Definitely has crunch. And you know, as these cool off, they're going to get even crunchier. So this is so exciting. I'm not sure if I'll bring it back for the refrigerated part or not. I will try my best to do that. We've had our experiment fun now. It's about to get real serious. I'm getting tired of this. I don't want to mess with it anymore. I really don't. So I'm going to call it. I don't like it refrigerated. If you feel the need to refrigerate it, you can't get to it all at the same time. Let it sit out at least 30 minutes, maybe an hour. I'm sweating. It's hot in here, and I'm still having a much more difficult time rolling out this dough. And I've even got this hot because I just brought something out of the oven. And it's just, yeah, I'm going to call it. It's pretty thin, but I don't think it's goldfish cracker thin. And since we already know our answer, I'm not even going to try to do the goldfish tonight. Sorry, guys. But we got our answer, and that's all we needed from the experiment anyway. We need this dough to be warm. With the cheese, it gets almost rubbery and chewy, you know, almost like. So it's easier to roll out warm. I do have a dough sheeter. which if I had felt like putting it together, because it is folded up and put away, had I felt like it, I think that might have helped solve that problem and made it a little bit easier for us. But no, I'm going to call it, and we're just going to turn these into the square-ish crackers. I would like to start making more stuff from scratch. I would like to start finding recipes that we can replace from the store so we're not so dependent on it, and it's healthier for us and almost always saves us so much money. So what do you think? What kinds of things have you been curious about that you would like to start learning to make from scratch? Give me some ideas on some things that you would like to see, because just because I want to see it or do it doesn't necessarily mean it's something you have interest of. So I would appreciate your feedback on that. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, here they are. So there's the crackers. I baked them longer because they were thicker. And instead of doing the 15 minutes I think we did last time, I added an extra 6 after I flipped them over. And to me, they look perfect. Don't they look? Ooh, but they are hot, so I don't want them over baking. So I'm going to put them on here to cool. Our puffy Ritz crackers. I'm so excited to have a new thing that my family, and especially I, enjoy snacking on that is healthier for you. If this is it for today, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I love having you all with me on these crazy adventures, and how exciting that we got to make our own Goldfish and Cheez-It crackers. I am so excited about this. I cannot wait to see what everyone thinks of them. And if you've done something like this, make sure you comment down in the comment section below and let me know if you've done this before. And if this is before the 20th of November, 2025, your comment will also enter you into that giveaway. See you later next time. Bye for now.